Welcome, friends.
Welcome.
So, we wanted to make a quick, short video to address some of the common questions that couples might have about attending one of the many different kinds of live events that we often host.
Right. We recognize that for a lot of people, they may get invited to an intimate covenant event and they're thinking, but what does that really look like?
And for some of us, we don't regularly go to marriage seminars or
Right.
marriage days. So, again, we just want to give you an idea of what to expect so that it's not quite so intimidating, perhaps.
Right. I think maybe the first place to start is just to kind of explain some of the different live events that we offer.
Sure.
Our biggest two different events are first our marriage retreat, and then second, you'll hear us talk about marriage days, sometimes marriage weekends. So let's first kind of explain the difference between those.
Sure. So each September, we host an annual marriage retreat. It takes place in the Houston area, which is where we live. And during that event, we offer informative presentations, fun entertainment, and lots of intimacy building exercises, all within the luxurious setting of basically a resort style hotel here in
Right.
the Houston area.
Right. This event is spread out over 3 days worth of time. There's lots of free time built into the
Right.
itinerary. It allows couples to really be able to relax together and just to have some good focused conversations with one another about the material we're presenting.
Right.
Sounds like a lot of fun, right?
It is,
We
trust
think
me,
it is.
it is. And so to find out more about attending our annual retreat in the Houston area, go to our website, intimatecovenant.com/retreat, and that'll get you some more information. We even still have a few spots left for this year's event, which we're really excited about. Join us there.
So that's the marriage retreat, but then you'll also see us advertise having marriage day, marriage weekends, and these events are taking place all across the country.
Yes, we've
Uh,
been invited to a number of
right.
places all over the country in the past few years, and these events are becoming more and more frequent.
Right. So, in contrast to the retreat, a marriage day takes kind of all of that learning content and condenses it into a single day, sometimes like a day and a half. So,
Right.
sometimes we'll have a Friday evening and then all day Saturday. Most of them tend to be just Saturday events.
Yeah, and at these events, you can expect a full day, which is divided into a number of 30 to 45-minute presentations. There'll be some breaks between presentations, sometimes some refreshments. Generally, there's a time that's carved out for lunch, whether that's served on site or off site. But you can expect really a full day packed with presentations and learning and being challenged with your spouse.
Yeah, and at each of these events, our host has chosen specific theme and a set of topics that will be presented. So each marriage day or marriage weekend has a theme that
Mhm.
it's built around, and then these programs will differ so that each event has unique content and unique
Right.
experiences.
The specific itineraries are going to vary, but they will be published, of course, on the website ahead of time so that you have an idea of what topics we intend to cover for each specific event.
Mhm.
You can find links to the events in your area with the specific itineraries, the specific themes, and the topics that we're going to cover. Those are always posted on our website at intimatecovenant.com/events.
Yeah, and if we're coming back to an area that we've been out previously, then you will know that we're going to be presenting different materials.
Yes,
So,
right.
it's very possible to come year after year to a marriage day or marriage weekend and hear different things
Hopefully
each
be
time.
and be challenged in a different way. Every event that we host, we try to include a Q&A session that allows for audience members to submit anonymous
Mhm.
questions for this live Q&A session. It's Jen's favorite part.
We do joke about this a lot. I'm not one who tends to enjoy being put on the spot answering these kind of questions particularly, but we started offering the Q&A because we recognized this is really what draws people in
Yeah, and
because
and
we all
yeah.
have questions. Sometimes those are questions that we haven't really had a place that we could ask before.
Yeah.
So this really provides that great opportunity. And frequently, you have the same question as your neighbor. You just don't know that.
Right, right. So, in general, though, we will present topics throughout these days that are focused on building stronger and deeper intimacy in all aspects of your marriage, whether that's spiritually, emotionally, mentally, sexually. We want to invigorate and refresh and challenge you in all of those different aspects of your relationship.
Right. And I think, Matt, that really kind of leads to often what is, well, and what has become like the biggest question about us is, do we only just talk about sex? And the answer to that is no.
And that answer may be comforting to you or disappointing to you. But some of you might assume that since our podcast has really taken sort of a primary focus on the sexual aspect of marriage, that means that we're going to spend the whole day at these marriage days just talking about sex. But I can assure you that will not be the case.
Right. Now, to be clear, at these events, we will be talking frankly and openly about sex. I mean, it is a big part of the marriage relationship and a place where a lot of conflict often is manifested.
Right. Holy sexuality in marriage is also a topic that's just simply been neglected in many communities and in many churches. And so these events are an opportunity for us to begin and extend a very important conversation that needs to be happening.
Right. But at our marriage days and weekends, and even at our annual retreat, our purpose isn't to make you uncomfortable. It's to make you feel challenged.
Yes.
It's so that every couple will be forced into just recognizing where there's a place for growth within their marriage in every aspect of your marriage, not just sexually.
Yeah, and to be clear, you can't grow a single aspect of your marriage like sex without addressing all of the other parts of your relationship that tie into that. So
Right. So, yeah, we do talk about sex, but sex is not the primary topic. And in fact, we'll divide our time across all realms of marital intimacy: spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical.
Right.
So don't worry, you won't be uncomfortable sitting next to your neighbor.
Some of you might be thinking, well, my marriage is fine. Why would I need an intimate covenant marriage day?
Yeah, I think sometimes when it comes to just our general thinking about things like a marriage day or a marriage retreat, we think, oh, well, that's for broken marriages, right? But that's not my marriage, so nah, I don't really need that. But we want to challenge you on that. I mean, if your marriage is good, great, or struggling, we think that you can benefit from challenging material and encouragement from all of our events.
Right. Even couples with great marriages recognize that there is always work to do to help maintain the deep connections and to help navigate the continual challenges of life that you are going to face together.
Right. I mean, if your marriage is in a season of discontent and disconnection, you and your spouse will find motivation and encouragement to restore your relationship. I mean, that is a primary motivator of why we do what we do, to help couples, because we know what it is to be in a place of brokenness and need help.
Yeah, so wherever you are, whether your marriage is good, great, or struggling, we're going to challenge you to keep striving and don't settle for less than what God is capable of blessing you with.
Yeah. Keep striving, don't settle. You'll hear that phrase a lot if you spend time in the intimate covenant world.
That's true.
So I think another place that a lot of people have some reservation when it comes to coming to these events is thinking that they're going to be asked to share personal stories or embarrassing details about their marriage, that they're going to be put on the spot.
And what do you mean? You don't want to be embarrassed in front of a group of total strangers?
No, they do not all want to sit in my seat, Matthew.
Well, good, because we don't want to hear anybody's dirty laundry either. At an intimate covenant event, you are not going to be asked or even expected to share personal stories or share personal information with strangers.
Right. I mean, Matt and I are going to be the ones doing the speaking. So we'll be the ones maybe getting a little embarrassed.
Looking forward to that, aren't you, sweetheart?
I can't wait.
Yes. You will, however, be challenged.
Yes.
We don't want to embarrass you, but we do want to challenge you to begin conversations with your spouse, not with your neighbor, but conversations with your spouse that you may never even realize that you needed to have.
Right. We don't want to have you leave feeling embarrassed, but we do want you to leave feeling encouraged and hopefully transformed. So another question is, What about kids? Can I bring my kids? And trust us, we love kids. But at an Intimate Covenant Marriage Day, our goal is to focus on marriage, not necessarily parenting.
Exactly. Now, you're welcome to bring babies if necessary. We understand that sometimes the mamas and babies shouldn't be separated at certain times, but you and all the other couples that join us will have a much more profitable time if we leave our kids with the grandparents or with a sitter.
Right. So bring the babies on arms if you have to, but if you can find a sitter, you'll enjoy it more too.
Absolutely.
So we really hope that you will be able to join us. IntimateCovenant.com/events will have all of our upcoming marriage days, marriage weekends, and information about the retreat.
Absolutely. Despite our fairy tale dreams, and despite the joys of that honeymoon phase that all of us hopefully can remember, it doesn't take long to realize that it is tough to be married.
Right. We know because we've been there. I mean, the pressure to balance family, work, and spiritual obligations, frankly, those often erode the closeness that we should have within our marriage.
Right. So silent tension builds, passion fades, barriers are built with every unmet expectation, and even among good marriages, if there's not continued focused attention and intentional renewal, love becomes an obligation and romance disappears. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah,
Yeah, me too.
for us too, right? And that's why we want you to join us at Intimate Covenant Marriage Day. We understand. We've been there. We're there. And so we just want to walk through this together. There's profound benefit in escaping from all those daily obligations and purposely prioritizing your marriage.
Absolutely. So for more information, go to intimatecovenant.com/events. You can find our upcoming events, hopefully find one that's in your area. If you'd like to bring us to your neighborhood, send us an email, feedback@intimatecovenant.com. We would certainly be happy to have a conversation about bringing Intimate Covenant and a conversation about holy marriage, intimate marriage, and holy sexuality, and bringing that conversation to your community.
Thanks, friends. Hope to see you soon.